Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks, and today we'll be looking at Apple, Facebook and Amazon, and this is what we'll look at each Tuesday as well. So I'm doing groups of three each day. Now I've got a couple of things to say about this before I sort of move into this, is that that I need to get familiar with these stocks and these patterns. Every market is the same but different. Where they're from human beings, and human beings are all the same, but yet we're all uniquely different as well. So I need to work out, identify, get familiar with all the little idiosyncrasies and patterns and so on and so on. Each one vibrates slightly differently, so it takes a little while to pick all these things up. So I haven't really refined everything just yet, but as the weeks roll over, we'll get better and better at this. But so with Amazon here, we're looking at this correction from wave 3 here to as an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here. And this wave 4 here that we've been looking at here, this might be 1 degree smaller as well, but it doesn't really matter for the time being. Certainly in one way or another, we're looking at a wave 4, either this degree or smaller, and the point is we're looking for further upside to come. So we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So the 2,500 area is our port of call. So all I can confirm at this stage, by the by, is that we've got 5 waves moving up through here, and that's it. From that point onwards, I don't know. I'm assuming that we're going to get a correction and then we're going to go further up. And why I assume that is because some stocks are leading and some markets are following. And I do say markets because I mean indices like the S&P 500 and so on. So I believe that we're just in wave 1 here and pulling back for wave 2 in this case. And I think I will drop this down 1 degree lower as well. So this will become a blue wave 4. Not to worry though. These are the things I mean we need to, I'm thinking as I'm talking, that's how busy life is. So I've already done it here. I've dropped it down here. So, right. So, yeah, so Amazon. So we're looking for an impulse wave to the upside here, and as wave 1 and 2 here, and then we're looking at this high here for being wave 3, and we can look at that and identify that, and wave 4 here. Now we know that wave 4s can get a bit complicated, so we may end up seeing a move back down here for this and then a move up from here. But the way that markets are traveling at the moment, we'll be looking for a move straight up at that point. This also brings in a classic trading levels pattern here as well. So that is the arrival, the reaction in three waves, if we draw that in there, and then the first high above the level in 5 waves, and this is normally 5 waves. So then we normally get an ABC sort of pattern here, and finding support normally near the other support, and then a move up from that point. So these sorts of areas here become the triggers to move into the long side here on this. So this would look like the classic trading levels pattern, which looks like this here. So we have the arrival, which would be the arrival here, and in that case the arrival here, and then we would have our corrective move here, which is this corrective move here, and now we're looking at the first high above the level here in 5 waves. Once that occurs, and that will be we'll look at that section there a bit later, and then we'll see an ABC correction from that point, which will be this ABC pattern here, normally finding support at the previous support. There can be a variation on this particular pattern, and the variation, I don't think it's going to be the case, but it doesn't drop below the level here, in this case the 2,500 area, and move straight up. In both cases we don't miss it because we take this high here first, and well obviously this one first and then that one second. We may even get another little high to work in on as well. So I'll just set these up here so they open correctly next time in that space. So yeah, that's what we're kind of looking for up in this space here, but let's just move in a little bit further. I think I did do a bit of work on the 4-hour chart here for this, so it looks a little bit like this here. It jumps around a lot, this market, so in terms of the intraday here. So that's why we're going to, with a lot of these stocks, um, a lot of these stocks are in high frequency trading and all that scammy stuff. So um, yeah, so we'll be using a lot of the tick charts. So a lot of the times we'll jump from daily charts to tick charts, so we get that detail in there. But yeah, this is how this looks here. So we're looking for, at this stage here, I'm finding this a little bit difficult to count as well. I've got a couple of counts here, but as I said, wave 4 can get a bit more complicated here, so I just need to be mindful of that. So when this finishes up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, one more little high here, it's possible that we can come back down here as a C wave, as a flat correction, and then move up. Yeah, let's go in and have a little look at this. So tick chart. So I've been working on 100 ticks. This is what it looks like here for this. So this move down through here is possibly all this will just come back a little bit here. So we've got let's just grab a little bit more detail in here. So I'm looking at down here as wave 1 here and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here and 3 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, and then 5 waves up, making a new high here for wave 5 here of 3. And then wave 4 normally pulls back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. It did fall out of bed here, and is building to the upside. So, I mean, I can count in through here, and I haven't done it on 100 ticks here because I haven't got enough detail. So I'll go into 20 ticks and do that. So I am going to do that, but I'm suggesting that I don't have a really nice clean count for this. In fact, this market doesn't really move that nicely. So I'm going to go from 100 ticks down to 20 ticks here. So that's our wave 4 little area here. So you can still see I'm working on it. I haven't resolved it, but I think it's okay to share stuff that's still in the workshop, so to speak. And then it gives other people a chance to comment and do things. So here we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, and then it's quite clear that we've got 1 here and ABC for wave 2 here, and we've got overlapping wave structure, so we need to count it as 2 here. And then we've got 1 and 2 here and 5 waves in blue here for 3, 4, and then another little 5 waves here. So I'm thinking, but then I've got wave 3 here. This wave 4 here, if I call it wave 4, overlaps this wave 1. So that pulls me into a problem straight away here as well. So I'm having difficulty in counting this up here. It's actually counting up as corrective. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned that this market can roll back down at this stage. So from this low here, if it was going to fail at this point, then I would count this here as 1 and 2 here and 3 here, ABC for 4 here, and then 5 waves up here for 1 here. And of course, it does overlap here. So there's problems with that. But we do have a nice A, B, and C here. So I have to, this is where I'm talking about identifying the DNA footprint of how a stock vibrates. But from this point, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here. So still got overlapping wave structures here for 4. So we could still be building even higher here. But I'm just assuming we'll look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm a bit curious about this being in here. 5 here and 4 here, definitely correct. So definitely move higher here. But once this finishes here, if you can imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, finishing here at this level here. So this is, if you're trading long, this is where it could fail from. And all of this could be an A wave to here, B wave to here, and C wave to here. And then we go down from that point. But however, if we get support on the midpoint here, the 2450, then we'll go up from that point. So coming back to this, say, 4-hour chart, maybe. So yeah, so you can see that this could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave just to here, and then drop here, and then move up from that point. So I don't know about that yet. I'm not familiar enough with this particular stock to understand and have that knowledge, of that pattern recognition. I just don't have that yet. But I can say that this particular move to the upside is not finished. And in the bigger picture here, if you are long here for the longer term, then definitely above the 2,500 is where we'll be looking at, and it should resolve itself in due course anyway, this. So that's Amazon. Let's take a look at Facebook here. So Facebook's in the same thing. I've got more of a nice wave 4 correction here in 3, A, B, and C here for wave 4, where when we'll be looking at Apple, where Apple had this move way up here for Apple, you know, but I'm still going to call Apple the same pattern as this one here, but it just went much higher, that's all. So this move up here is not completed as well here for this, so we'll be looking for this. I can just see every trend's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I can see that the middle here is quite strong. So that must be the third wave, and we must be in the sort of fourth wave area through here. So on the daily chart, we can move in through here. So I'm thinking of it like this here with 1 and 2 here, and we haven't finished wave 3 here just yet. So we'll push up for wave 3, have a wave 4 here, and then push up for a wave 5 here. And of course, being at the old high here, we're going to see this market, you know, be, you know, sold off, vibrate basically there. I don't know what the correct word is, but we all learn differently, so we see differently and we talk differently. So yeah, so let's go in and have a little look at this. I don't know what I've done on the 4-hour chart, if I've done anything. Yeah, I've done this here. So I've probably got a couple of counts here, but in this case here, I'm looking at all of this as 1 here and 2 here. And this is a bit odd here too, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for 1, 2 here, and 5 waves up for 1, ABC for 2 here. And looking at this here, putting wave 3 here. Let me just double check that. We can also, I've got 2 counts here. We can also have this a little bit different here as well. So yeah, 1 and 2 here. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So wave 3 can also be over here as well. But this is 1 count here. Let's just go to the tick chart here for this. This is 100 ticks. Yeah, I like this better really. So wave 1 here and 2 here. And 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, up for 3 here, back for 4 here, up for 5 here, for 3, 4 and 5. So I'm still looking for, I can't draw lines on the tick chart on this side of the price. I can draw on this side but not on this side. So that's a bit of a stick in the mud, but I think we may even be just at wave 3 here, wave 5 of 3, then back for wave 4 here, then up for wave 3 here, for this wave 3, then wave 4, and then wave 5. So we're definitely in a bullish trend. It's just that this one seems to be lagging a little bit with all of this. So, but I will go back over all of this and keep chipping away at it until I get it. But this would be my primary count at this stage. So we can expect a new high into 220. So around the 220 area somewhere, we'll see this pull back into wave 4 here, and then a push up into wave 5 of 3, and then back for 4 here, and then up for 5. So the longer term target is 250 up here. That's pretty reasonable at this point. So, but still got a lot to work through just yet. And having this is minor group 1 here. So we've got 10, 20 and 30 here. So these guys here as supports are really good to build in on the long side here. But, okay, so we'll go to Apple next. Here we go. So we can see with Apple here that I'd still like to call this wave B here. I know that you can squeeze 5 waves into this. I understand that. But I like to pull the market in line with the other big stocks and also Amazon, the Nasdaq as well. So I like to pull them all together. I know that they doesn't have to be that way, and I'll need to do more work on all of this. But I'll just leave it for this point, because at the end of the day, what we're really looking for is trade setups and so on. And for a long trade to be here, well, we know we're approaching the old high here, so we know that we're going to see some sort of correction, aren't we? You know what I mean? So, and we're at this major level here as well, so that's going to be very helpful. Working around large price points is just perfect. So it just gives us that nice and support and resistance. It's like this over here. It gave us the first high above the level, but it didn't give us any support. This one over here didn't give us any support either, or maybe we had a small loss in here. We didn't trade this, of course. But over here, I can see that these 3 or 4 bars sitting here, well, that's a nice setup for the long side on that point there. So anyway, just shooting the breeze. So we'll go into the daily chart here for this. So I'm thinking of it something along these lines here, where we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and coming up for 5 here. Now, of course, this could be counted differently as well. We could have this as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 of a smaller degree, and 3 and 4 and 5. So I need to look at that there as well. This will certainly be moving further up here. This is corrective here in this case. So, but I think there's just more, could be more in this here. What have I got on the 4-hour chart? Here. Yeah, this is the other count. I kind of like this a bit more because it fits in with the other stocks we're just talking about. So 1 and 2 here, instead of having wave 3 and 4 here, which is doable. It's not like wave 4 has overlapped wave 1 here, but this is quite long here. So it's just got a better perspective if we look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here and 4 here. Now wave 4 can get a bit complicated. It should be larger than wave 2 here, so we're still on the still a bit short here. So we could end up getting another move down here before we see a move to the upside. But for longer term stock traders, then this is a bullish market. You know, there's no doubt about that. So yeah, let's just go into the tick chart here for this to see what I've got here, and yet this is another count here for this. This is the other count where we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finishing here. I mean, I have to look at these things. I don't think it's correct, but that would place the B wave. And even if the market fell from this point here, it still could be this wave 4 that we looked at before, so that's getting a little bit confusing. I'll just see what I've done on the 20 ticks, if I've done anything. Okay, this count here is more realistic for me. It's the other count we looked at before on the 4-hour chart with 1 and 2 here. This is at 20 ticks, and I need to go into 20 ticks for these stocks to really, drill into them and to find out, work out things with all of these. So I would look at this here. I'd pull all this apart. That's my job, and see what mistakes are made and so on and so on. But so this, to me, I kind of like this here. Like I said, I'm not familiar with these the stock's little idiosyncrasies here with all of this. So I've still got a bit more to tune in and to learn here. This is very high here in regards to being, above the 61.8% mark here. So it's likely that this wave 4 is in place and we're going to continue to build up to here. So if you're long in any of this, that's fine with this. So let me just check here. This is the funny thing with this stock here, I mean, if we're going to call this up here for wave 1 here, then we need to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it's got some really weird sort of things going on with this particular stock. I haven't pulled all this apart. This is be a third wave in here. This will be the third of the third. So we're in a third to a fourth wave correction here. So we could probably just look at probably look at this here. So it's if you're traveling with a stop here, it's possible for this to come back to 310, 311 here for this. It's possible for this to do that before it moves to the upside here. But I would say that if we looked at this here, I'll just darken this to so that's a minor level. Now we're talking sub-levels here. So between, if I copy this here, it's a good learning thing. So this is the trading level sort of stuff. So 10, 20 and 30 is all minor group 1, and before that we would have between 10 and 20 here, we would have the numbers, the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8. They're the important numbers through all of this. So we could put in 5 here, which will be the 15, and then we can just take that out, put that there. That will be at the 8 here. Also with 8 here, you know there's 65, 72 and 80, and that would be 17, 20 at that point for 72. And at the lower end here, we would have 1, 2 and 3. So we would have 3 here, 13, 12 and 11. So 1, 2 and 3 would make up group 1, subgroup 1. So we always know that we get a bounce off 3. So in numbers in strength, we would look at the numbers 1 being the strongest number, then 5, then 8, and then 3. So if the market moves down to 3 here, you're likely to get a bounce at this particular point here, and that's probably where the support is going to be for that. So I'll just go back to the 4-hour chart here. This is what I think the count is here, but I'm still new to this and I still need to do work on this. I mean, I'm not new to Elliott, but as I mentioned, tuning into a market and understanding its little idiosyncrasies, it takes a little while to understand those sorts of things. So, but anyway, we've made a start on stocks this week, and this is our Tuesday stocks. So each Tuesday we'll do Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. On Wednesdays we'll do Microsoft, AMD, and Tesla. On Thursday we'll do Alibaba, Bank of America, and Exxon Mobil. And Friday we'll do AT&T, General Electric, and Nike. And on Mondays, of course, we'll do Alphabet, Netflix, and Nvidia. We may chuck in some other ones here and there as well, but that will be our basic format for US stocks. But that can be open to change, and I'll need to look at other sectors and see drivers, and I may change the bank to Morgan's or Saks or something like that as well. We'll see. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.